Check. Well, here we are. So leading up to the NPC show, which this video is about, I actually didn't record a lot. I didn't record anything at all, really. They're a little more strict with their rules and regulations as well. So I wasn't allowed to bring a camera to that show. So there's some iPhone footage, like small clippets here and there, videos that like my friends took, like they snuck in while I was on stage, but there isn't a lot. So that's what this video is going to be kind of for or about is just talking about like an overview of my bodybuilding experience, kind of leveling up, going from like, oh, I'm just a healthy dude, like I just go to the gym every so often and kind of take care of my nutrition and health, to really hammering down and niching down to I'm going to perform at a professional level in this area of fitness, so bodybuilding. So going back to the NPC show, it was the New Englands hosted by Jay Cutler. It was a cool show. Lot bigger crowd, a lot stricter, a lot more competitive. NPC, they don't test for any type of performance enhancing drugs or substances or whatever. I did this natural. I went on stage naturally. In OCB, I was natural as well. So I felt super small. Thankfully for the novice group, there was 3 of us. I came in second, so right in the middle of the pack again. And I was happy with those results. That didn't. I never went into this with the mindset of like I need to win, or obviously I'm a very competitive person. I want to win, but I wanted to also take this more as a learning experience for myself. Really testing and pushing my limits and seeing if I actually do have the discipline to hammer down for a year and a half almost straight, or a year. It was about a year that I prepped for this. Really focus in on nutrition, my training, the whys behind it. Why am I doing this exercise over that exercise? Why am I doing these concentrics or eccentrics versus just repping everything out? What's the purpose behind the volume that I'm performing? What's the purpose behind the loads? What's the purpose behind the cardio, and the conditioning? Like, I wanted to learn, and that was the expectation going into it. Is I want to learn more about fitness, because I am a personal trainer on the side. So I wanted to hone my personal skills for the education aspect. But what I wasn't expecting is to learn not just about fitness, but a lot about myself. Um, Now, the burning question, will I ever do bodybuilding again? Will I ever compete again? Probably not. Here's why. When I first got into fitness, a lot of it was an emotional motivation of I wanted to look a certain way to be perceived as more attractive, right? And or I was also very self-conscious about the way I look. Part of that could be I was the only Asian, or one of like 3 Korean dudes in a predominantly white community in the middle of nowhere, New Hampshire. Or it could also just be I am naturally just a more anxious person who is more self-conscious, with not a lot of self-confidence. I'm sure you can connect the two, and I'm sure if we look at my childhood traumas that like there's some sort of psychological, like there's a lot of psychological factors that got me to where I am today. But all in all, I was always a very self-conscious person about the way I look. So that was kind of my introduction to the gym, introduction to fitness. From there, we go into the sports side of things. I was an athlete as well, so obviously going to the gym, I wanted to enhance my performance on the field as well. And then we start talking about the military. When I was in the military, in the Marine Corps, I wanted to, again, part of being in the Marine Corps, in the infantry, is being physically fit and physically able to perform certain tasks, whether that's rucking 20 miles with 50-pound load on your back or a 100-pound load on your back, or if that's buddy carrying someone who needs medical attention, like 200, 300 yards back, full sprint. It's my reason for fitness, my why has slowly adapted and evolved as the more I'm into fitness, or the longer that I'm in fitness. So we start out with like this emotional constraint first, then we start getting into the military, and all of a sudden it becomes a physical need. Um, and then past that, I get out of the military, and I was like, what's my why now? What am I doing? What's the purpose behind me chasing these fitness goals? I'm the type of person where I need some sort of outside motivation oftentimes. I have a lot of intrinsic motivation, but for certain challenging things, like bodybuilding, for example, I needed some sort of set goal to be like, okay, this is my date, this is my timeline, this is why I'm doing this. So, bodybuilding wise, a lot of my friends were bodybuilding. Um, they were super into it, and I always got asked, like, on the street or at the gym, like, are you a bodybuilder? Prior to the show, I would always sit comfortably around 190, 195 pounds. That is significantly heavy for a 5'7", 5'8" dude. I always had this predetermination that I needed to be 190, 200 pounds plus in order to be perceived as big. And I was strong, and I was. I'm a pretty strong dude, I think, for my size, relatively speaking, pound for pound. But again, there was always like I need more. I need to gain more weight. I need to gain more weight. I need to look big. I need to be bigger. So there was that. And I was always just kind of on the edge of bodybuilding. I consider myself a power builder, right? I worked on the compounds a lot, cared more about strength than I did physical features. And I just like being a bigger dude. So for the year of bodybuilding, I started at 195-ish pounds. I fluctuated up. I bulked up to 215, 210. And then from there, we cut all the way down to what you'll see on this video today, 166 pounds. So that's almost 60 pounds down within, I think it was like a 6-month or 5-month span after you take into account the bulk and the maintenance. So 6 months, 60 pounds. We'll say 7 months, 60 pounds. It was pretty aggressive. And I've seen more aggressive, and I know that the human body is capable of more aggressive, and that there are some people out there who will fluctuate like 20 pounds in like 2 weeks for like a wrestling competition or whatever. So it was aggressive, and it was definitely something I've never experienced. Having to cut that much weight in such a short period of time, relatively speaking. Looking back, I did not like the way I looked at 166, 165 pounds. I preferred my weight at around 175, 180. I think that's when I looked the best. I looked full, but I was still pretty lean. You didn't see a lot of striations in my legs, but I'll pop a video up here. Like, I just felt better. I looked better. I felt better. I still felt strong, and I still felt big. At 166, I felt like a twig. I felt super tiny. Yeah, I was pretty shredded, but like it didn't feel right. It was almost like looking at a bobblehead, in my opinion. And I was miserable. I was super miserable. If you ask any of my friends, they probably would tell you that I had a great time doing everything, but I was miserable. The whole time I would tell everybody, like, they would ask, like, oh, how are you doing? How's the cut? I know it can be hard. And I would just be like, yeah, it's great. The reason for that being I wanted my mindset to be like, if everything's good, everything's good, you know? If I started drowning in my own self-thought or if I started drowning in my own thoughts of like, wow, this is miserable, then yeah, I was going to be miserable. So I would wake up every day and force a smile on my face and be like, you're doing great. Everything's going smooth. But to say the least, not a huge fan of being super light. Right now, it's March? Almost March. It's basically March, and I'm up 20 pounds since show day. So that's like 3-ish months. December, January, February, March. 3 to 4 months, 3.5 months, and I'm back up to 185. I feel decent now. The body dysmorphia is definitely crazy, though. I look at myself now at 185, and I'm like, wow, you're gross. That took a little bit of adjusting to coming out of the show, and it's something that I don't think a lot of people talk about that they should. Post show in the off season, yeah, a lot of bodybuilders are chasing the bulk and they're chasing that more muscle mass, but it definitely affects you mentally. And this isn't just my opinion. I know that there are other bodybuilders out there that share the same sentiment as me. It's tough. You go from looking shredded and like lean and the best you've ever looked in your life to not looking like that. And the shock factor is pretty hard. I know now that I'm much healthier. I actually have energy throughout my day. I know my hormones are back at a normal level. I'm actually, like, the brain fog is gone. I have mental clarity. I can actually form words and have a conversation with someone without, like, being out of breath after saying a few sentences. I'm healthy now. And I think I understand that mentally. But physically, it's tough looking at myself and being like, wow, you're a thick boy. And that's only 20 pounds plus. That's not even like peak bulk. I was 40 more pounds than what I am now. So I just want to put that into perspective for some people who are looking to bodybuild and may not realize that, or for other bodybuilders out there who are watching this, like, I'm with you. It's tough and it's something that people don't want to talk about. I don't know why, but it's a real thing. Body dysmorphia is 100% a real thing as well, and it doesn't help. But regardless of that, this is going to just turn into a ranting video, I can already tell. But trying to get back on track, top 3 things I would suggest to anybody about to bodybuild. Number 1 thing, get a good coach. He doesn't have to be, or she doesn't have to be necessarily a bodybuilding coach, but get someone to help you stay accountable to your daily, your weekly, your monthly program. Let someone else monitor you, because in my experience, if I had let myself program myself out, because I think I'm pretty damn capable of doing that, I could definitely program another bodybuilder out pretty well. But if I did it to myself, I know that 1, I probably wouldn't keep myself as accountable, and 2, I'd be lying to myself on a daily basis of what I am actually capable of. Oftentimes my coach, he's technically a strength and conditioning coach, Kyle, shout out to you. This was his first bodybuilding, I guess, client or student, athlete, whatever you want to call me. He did a phenomenal job programming me. He also did a phenomenal job at monitoring me and my behaviorism and ensuring that I wasn't burning myself out. On top of having someone who's programming you, like a fitness coach, on top of that, you should definitely get a nutrition coach or nutritionist. I had Mel, shout out to you. He programmed all of my food throughout the whole time, throughout my bulk, my maintenance, and my cut. And if I didn't have that, I definitely would not have placed the way I placed or looked the way I looked on show day. It's just that one additional thing being added onto your plate of having to think about, okay, what am I going to eat? Or what do my macros look like? What do my calories look like? Take that off your plate. If you're bodybuilding and you're looking to compete and be super competitive, you got so many other things on your plate, and or you're already so burnt out and tired that letting someone else do that for you will save you so much effort, time, and just mental energy, So number 1 thing, get good coaches. Maybe they don't even have to be that good. Just get someone to keep you accountable. Second thing, try to find someone, or on top, I guess this could be wrapped into the first thing as well. Talk to someone and or get someone, pay for someone's service to teach you how to pose properly. Posing was definitely the most nerve-wracking aspect that I was afraid of going into the shows. Looking at the difference between my OCB show and my NPC show, but just between getting feedback from the OCB show and then honing in on what went well, how do I look good, in what positions do I look good, taking that into the NPC show helped me tremendously. If I was able to get that feedback for a whole year instead of the last like month, that would have been huge, and that would have been a game changer, I think. So if you can, and maybe this is just like a friend that's been bodybuilding, or you go on YouTube and you just watch a bunch of other bodybuilders like I did, but figure out your posing routine and figure out what do you look good in from an outside perspective. Have another pair of eyes on you to be like, yes, that looks good, or no, that does not look good. Raise your elbows a little bit, twist out your arm, like show more lats, whatever that is. Get a posing coach. Get someone who can actually look at you, understands posing, and can give you feedback. So that's my number one thing. If you're going to be bodybuilding, get good coaches. Okay, so number 2, the second thing I would suggest to anybody looking to be into body or looking to start bodybuilding, learn patience. Learn how to be patient. I've seen some dudes, they'll cut for a show in like 3 months, and that's to me impressive. Like I could never do that just because it's so aggressive. I wanted to retain as much muscle mass as possible, so I wanted my cut to be super slow. But I had to learn, and I think I'm a pretty decently patient dude. I had to learn a lot more patience, not with the aspect of bodybuilding and all the extrinsic shit, but also internal patience. I had to trust the process, and I had to trust that my coaches were pointing me in the right direction. And I had to also trust the fact that I was making progress on a day-to-day basis, even if it didn't show. Even if the scale didn't reflect it. Even if I looked in the mirror and I didn't see it, I still was. You got to be patient, and you got to really just enjoy the process. Because it's a journey. It really is. And if you've never done it before, it's probably one of the hardest things you'll ever do. Number 3, the last thing that I will say, if you want to start bodybuilding, do not compare yourself to everybody else. Do not compare yourself to everything you see on the internet. And this is maybe not even bodybuilding advice, but just some life advice. I would fall down that deep hole of, wow, I'm 5'7", that guy on YouTube is 5'7", I don't look like him. Why? I would go on YouTube and I would see other like 5'7", 5'8" dudes. I would even compare myself to like 5'7" Asian dudes. Specifically Korean bodybuilders, and I would look at them and be like, I do not look like that, and they're maybe 5 pounds heavier than me and the same height. What's going on? There are so many factors that go into how your body will look when you're super lean. Big one being genetics, obviously, but you can't compare. You just can't. Get that out of your head. Just take it, dump it somewhere else. It's not going to help you. It's not going to help you. It's probably going to stress you out. It's probably going to give you anxiety, and then your cortisol levels are going to go up, and then you have lower T than you already do. It's just an avalanche and a compounding effect of just leading yourself down the wrong trail. So this kind of goes back into my second suggestion. Enjoy the process. Trust the process. Take it day by day and understand that you are bettering yourself in a way. Whether or not you become your leanest version and your best looking version of yourself, you tried. And that, I think, shows a lot of character in terms of facing adversity and challenging yourself and trying to grow and develop and all these other things. So, again, the 3 things, 3 takeaways, 3 suggestions I give to anyone going into bodybuilding. 1, get good coaches. 2, be patient. 3, don't judge yourself or compare yourself to other people. Get out of your head. And again, this is all personal experience. This is from someone who has competed in both a natural and non-natural competition or show. So, as you should with what anyone says, take my advice with a grain of salt. So, those were my top 3 pieces of advice to give to anybody who wants to start bodybuilding, or maybe you're still bodybuilding, or maybe you've gone to a couple shows and you're still like, oh, I don't know really what I'm doing wrong. It could be one of these things. I don't know. And I'm sure there's a lot more that I could talk about and I want to talk about, but I also feel like technically I've been ranting for like almost an hour, and I'm gonna try to cut all that ranting down into like 15 minutes. So if this is something that, you know, gets good feedback, maybe I'll do it again. Maybe we'll talk more about like the mental aspect, post show stuff. Like, I don't know. I could talk about this stuff for days though. I can rant, I can yap. Unfortunately or fortunately, I've been gifted with the gift of gab, so I just love hearing myself talk. And any opportunity I can get to do that, I will take it. So if I get good feedback, maybe I'll just sit down in front of a camera and I'll rant for an hour and just post it raw, and see what happens. But in the meantime, thanks for watching. Thanks for following. If you followed the whole journey, you know, I appreciate you. You're the best. And hopefully I'll be back pretty soon with another video. I got a couple in the shoot that are ready to go, but I wanted to get this one done because this is kind of wrapping up an era and then introducing a new one. So I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Peace. Oh, last thing. If you have any questions or if you want to reach out and talk to me and don't feel like commenting, I'll link my Instagram. I try to be somewhat good at DMing people who have questions or want to ask me stuff, whether that's like fitness advice or, you know, even if you want to just pop in and say hi, feel free. So I'll add my Instagram. Feel free to DM me. That'd be cool. It makes me feel special and important, you know? Alright. Peace.
No, right there is fine. Oh my god. That's really scary. Can you do the back one again? The back one?
This one?
No, the like, yeah. Good. You can kind of see it. There you go, yeah.
I want you guys to get settled now because you have a job to do at 12 o'clock, okay? The show's going to start, so just pay attention.
More practice.
Well, right now I'm just trying to also get a handle of like my posing for tonight. So I kind of want to be able to see myself.
Yeah, wow. No waste. Wow. Where are your orchids? God, how is that?
Gone.
Your waist is so small, you're low anyway.
Like I don't know how I'm gonna have time to do anything today.
You're just gonna have to float. No. Did you steal her Chick-fil-A sausage? Yeah. Bro, I accidentally threw away one the other day, and I thought she was gonna murder me. Remember when you were like,
oh yeah.
my
The
sauce,
bag.
and I'm like, I'm gonna get it out of the trash. I got you. I went in the trash and got the goddamn bag.
I came back, I went to the bathroom, I don't know what I did, but I left and I was literally in my head like, okay, I have to grab the Chick-fil-A sauce out of the bag, like I saved it in there, so I'm gonna grab it and use it. I come back.
Yeah.
Number 30, Adam Bodine.
first sip of water in like the last 24 hours. Oh, that's so good. Oh my God, that's so good.